So, the big question is this: how are ambitious people like us, who don't have a lot of resources, did not go to Ivy League colleges, were not born into wealth, how do we become resourceful enough? Use our creativity, our dedication, and a little bit of crazy to bootstrap our way to realizing our dreams. Whether it is launching a new company, launching a new app, or making it to the top of the corporate ladder. That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. Hi guys, my name is Manoj Agarwal, and today I'm talking with personal branding expert Edwin Dearborn. And we'll be talking about some common myths and misconceptions about personal branding that stop most entrepreneurs or professionals dead in their tracks, really, before they even get started. So, very warm welcome, Edwin.
Hi. Well, thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So Edwin is a well-known expert on the subject of personal branding and has graciously consented to this interview to share his extensive knowledge and experience and dispel the common myths and misconceptions in this area so that every entrepreneur and professional can understand how to bootstrap one's personal brand and generate breakthroughs. So Edwin, thank you once again.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So my first set of questions is going to be about your background and experience in the field of personal branding so that entrepreneurs and professionals in our audience can understand who you are, where you're coming from, and how you can relate to where they are right now. And then after that, we'll jump into some main areas where people have misconceptions and misunderstandings when it comes to personal branding so that our audience can understand how to get past those ideas that actually stop so many people, right?
Okay, great.
Okay, so could you tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your background and education and experience in the field of personal branding?
Absolutely. So back in the 1980s, I grew up in Southern California, Orange County, California, and my parents were very entrepreneurial. They had several businesses. So I grew up in the small business world, starting at the age around 9 years old.
Oh, cool.
And I would spend my summers there. I would help out. We had a motorhome rental business, we had a prepping business, and we had a travel agency.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, and I am between the ages of like 9 years old all the way till about 23, I worked with my parents off and on in different capacities. And when I got to about 18 years old, 19 years old, I wanted to take some business classes in college at a local community college on advertising.
Huh?
And that's where the bug really bit me. Like I was like, I like this marketing stuff. I like advertising, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously marketing and advertising back in the 80s was a lot different than it is today.
Yeah.
But I find today that there are certain basics that have been known in the field of public relations, marketing, that still hold true today.
Yeah, human psychology doesn't change.
That's right. Yeah, people still want to hear good stories. People still want to, know that they can find a brand that they can trust.
Yeah, for sure.
So after that, I took these classes. I'm growing up helping my parents grow their businesses. I got offered a job at a advertising agency in Orange County, like a professional. They were handling national and international accounts. And so I worked there for a year and a half, and I really got real world experience on working with big corporations on, everything from design, logos, messaging, brochures, catalogs. I mean, the whole breadth and width of what marketing was at that point.
Yeah, awesome. That's great.
And then back around 1999, about 20 years ago, right when the internet was becoming what it is, right? It was just the birth of the internet.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, that was doing really, really well in it. Like I saw him as an innovator. And his name's Bill McIntosh. He's still, if you Google Bill McIntosh, he's still in business.
I see. I think that name rings a bell for sure.
Yeah. So I said, Bill, I want to learn from you because I know that this is the future. And I realized, I'm 55 years old now. I learned when I was 35. If I don't learn this stuff, I'm going to be an ancient relic. Like I'll be outdated and no one will want to work with me. So I was like, I better learn this. So I worked with him all the way off and on different projects until about 2009, 2010. So those 10 years, and as you know, around 2007, YouTube, Twitter started coming out. We jumped on top of that. So I just have always gravitated towards marketing and messaging and mass communication. Is just, it's been one of those, a love of mine, a hobby of mine, if you will.
Oh, that's great. I mean, you had the foresight to recognize that trend early on. So, a lot of people don't have that. So that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. Okay, so first of all, can you please shed some light on this concept of personal branding? What it is all about? Why is it important? Because a lot of people know this term, but they may not really understand what it all really means and why is it important for them and their business.
Yeah. Well, personal branding really is, how do I get people to know, like, and trust me? Mm-hmm. So whether you're trying to get recruited to a better company or you're trying to start a personal brand, people want to know that you're genuine, that you're transparent, that you're competent, that you offer something of value. And so really what personal branding is bringing all of that to the forefront in a genuine manner that makes you stand above everybody else, makes you stand out. So like I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. Mm-hmm. There's 13,000 realtors.
Yeah.
Like, how do you stand out? And this is where personal branding allows you to be the realtor or the dentist or the architect, whatever it is, and you become the one that everybody wants to do business with, or enough people want to do business with.
Yeah.
So if we take and we reverse engineer the process of, well, how do I stand out as a personal brand in today's environment?
Yeah.
And in my book, Power Branding Secrets, which you can get on Amazon, I break it down that there's what I refer to as the branding triangle. That there's 3 components to building a brand, whether it's a personal brand or a business brand. Now, what most people think a brand is a logo.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not what it is anymore.
Yeah, most people think that way, for sure. And I'll admit, I used to think that way maybe about, 10 years ago, until I started working in a few startups and I sort of, came to know the marketing side of business, because I was always on the technical side.
Right. Yeah. So I tell them, because they'll come to me and they go, oh, I've got all my branding done. And I kind of chuckle inside and I go, oh, really? You have all your branding done? Tell me what all your branding done means. And they go, well, I have a logo, I have a website, and I have really good photographs of myself. Mm-hmm. And I said, so does every other realtor in Las Vegas. So you're not going to stand out because you have a really good logo and a really good photo of yourself. These are just the basics you need to come to the table with. That's just a starting point. You're not done. You just began.
Yeah, arguably speaking, you don't even maybe need the logo to get the branding started.
No, I'll give you an example. Nordstrom. Yeah. You ever heard of Nordstrom?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
What's their logo?
Yeah, it's just letters, yeah.
It's just letters. What's their tagline? I don't know.
Yeah.
But they've got a powerful brand, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So there's a lot of people out there and a lot of businesses, like the logo's ordinary. They have no tagline. The website is ordinary, but they're $1 billion brand. And then people go, I never thought of it that way. I go, so let's dissect, why is Nordstrom such a powerful brand, even though the logo is ordinary, the website's ordinary, right?
Yeah.
But they got a powerful brand, right? And they're like, never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I go into in the branding triangle, why or what or how a brand really stands out, particularly now in the era that we live in.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll dive into the the insights from the book. But for now, let's give some insights to the listeners about how can they get started. Like let's say they get this concept, okay, they need to build their personal brand. How can one get started, especially if they don't have a lot of money to invest and they want to be scrappy? So what are the first steps they can take?
Well, they can establish social media channels, which are free.
Yeah,
They can really, like, I think that the two channels that I would really concentrate on, particularly if they're professional business people, is really take advantage of LinkedIn.
yeah,
LinkedIn is almost like a de facto website. You could actually turn it into your website because you can add content, you can put links to your videos, you can tell your story on your LinkedIn profile. So it, like, begin there, and if you don't know how to do it, go to YouTube and type in how to build a LinkedIn profile, and there's plenty of content
yeah,
and
yeah, of course.
people that will give you incredible teachings and insights of how to create a great LinkedIn profile. So that's free.
Yeah,
So that's perfect for the guy who's scrappy.
yeah,
YouTube, create a YouTube channel. That's free. Create videos with your iPhone.
yeah,
That's free. So you can get into there and start telling your story and start standing out and start getting some traction until you get some revenue going.
yeah. I'm so surprised. Like, I come across so many professionals and entrepreneurs, and they don't either have LinkedIn profile set up, or they set it up like years ago and never even look back. So I'm very surprised why they don't do that. YouTube, on the other hand, like, a lot of people are camera shy, and it takes
Hmm.
it takes a lot of time to sort of get over that. So I understand that hesitation a little bit, but even there, they can put up some presentation and just speak and record their voice. So those ideas are dead on. So thanks a lot for sharing those.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. So do you want to share some success stories that you've had in your field? Maybe a few of your clients or people who read your book in this area of personal branding that are relevant to our audience?
Yeah. Well, like I said, there's this three components. The first one is, in this branding triangle, is your brand identity. That's how we identify who you are. Okay. That's what most people think branding is. So if you go to a Starbucks, they got their green aprons, they got the Starbucks logo, right? They got the Starbucks packaging. Anything that you can touch, see, hear with the physical senses is the brand identity.
Yeah.
But a branding goes beyond that. The second point is the branded communication, the content that you're creating, the entertainment that you're providing, the insights through videos, blogs, ebooks, courses, right? So what I've done is I've shown people, let's create content and start answering questions and engaging people, and let's send that content out through the email, as well as what's called user generated content. That's reviews on Yelp,
Yeah.
reviews on Google, right? These are very powerful search engines, and people trust reviews. So I'll give you one example. I worked with a shutter company. They make custom shutters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I started with them. They were one of my very first clients, and they were doing about $25,000 a month in revenue.
Okay.
Small shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, we don't do any marketing. It's purely word of mouth.
Yeah.
So I said, great, let's get your database. They had 20 years worth of business. We entered their database, and we started mailing postcards once a month, right? Just re-engage your past clients.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Then every time somebody walks in, if they're happy, oh, you're happy, would you be willing to say that on Google and Yelp?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think at the time, so they had no email database, they had no mailing list, they had maybe one or two reviews. 10 years later, they're now doing $250,000 a month. We've 10x their income. They have almost 200 reviews on Yelp and Google, right? They dominate that search. They now do monthly mailings. They do emails. They've got salespeople. So we just started with what they could do with what they had.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that most people don't look at is, what can you access right now? Don't
Yeah.
think about the big picture. What do you have that we can leverage today?
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. A lot of people just look at the future and they just look at, compare themselves to the, multiple millions of dollars, like companies which are worth multiple millions of dollars, rather than looking at their own situation, and their own resources that they already have access to. So,
Absolutely. There's this principle, this Japanese principle called Kaizen,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right? Small incremental improvements
yeah,
create a big effect, right?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So say, well, what can we do today? Okay, you can update your profile. Good. You can reach out to 10 people today. Good. Tomorrow, we'll reach out to 10 more. Next thing you know, you're like, wow, I've got, a year later, I've got 3 social channels I'm active on. I've got 3,000 followers.
Yeah,
I've got some engagement, right? Because we took this principle of begin with what you have, do what you can,
for
move
sure.
the ball forward a little bit.
And the other thing is, as you put it, like, when I started, things were so different. Like, if you had to do something about marketing, you had to spend money. Like, there were no free platforms. You had to buy ads in press or magazines and whatnot. So today there is no excuse for not getting started.
Well, there are excuses, and people have them, and those are the
Yeah,
only excuses.
for sure.
And what's interesting, you bring that up. See, change triggers a thing in our mind,
Hmm.
right? It's like, well, what if I fail? What if I look stupid? So it's easier to have a sense of being right
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not changing. Well, this is why I've always done it.
yeah.
I understand, but T-Rex isn't surviving anymore. He died out,
Yeah.
right? Look at Blockbuster. Look at
Mm-hmm.
Sears.
Mm-hmm.
20 years ago, Sears was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. They're now shut down
Yeah,
because
true.
they didn't adapt and they died. If you don't adapt, you're going to become the next Sears.
Yeah, for sure. Adaptation is key.
Mhm.
Okay, great. All right, so let's talk about now some of the myths and misconceptions. So, we talked about some of the mechanics and what people can do to get started. What are some of the myths that people live with, as you put it? Like, they may look stupid, or they want to look intelligent and be come across as an expert. But what are some of the myths, in your opinion, that you have seen with the professionals and entrepreneurs they get stuck on?
One of the myths is personal branding is about lots of photos of yourself.
Mhm.
You see these people take like I see their Instagram and all it is pictures of them. Now, if you're a great looking model, then okay, that's the business you're in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But if you're a business consultant and every photo is a picture of you, that's not personal branding, that's egotism,
Yeah,
right? Show me that you're engaged in things. Show me that you're interviewing people. Show me the value that you bring. Show me some case studies, right?
hmm, hmm.
Like, give me a little bit more than just a picture of you all the time,
Yeah.
right? So personal branding isn't about being interesting, it's about being interested,
I see. I see.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're concerned about, if you're a brand that's concerned about them and you're giving versus holding back, you're giving value, you're giving insights. Take a look at great people that are building personal brand like Grant Cardone
Hmm.
or Gary Vaynerchuk. They just they've got these shows and they interview people and they give insights and the culture of 10x and the culture of they're sharing that wisdom and that ethos,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's what you want to do as a brand. Is you don't want to be interesting and talk about yourself. You want to be interested in
yeah.
your audience's well-being.
That's very true. Like, giving value is key. And in my opinion, like, I've talked to a few other people about this very topic, and what also they get stuck on is, okay, what do I do? Like, how can I provide value? Because they need to be creative enough and courageous enough to say, okay, I have some knowledge in me that I can share, and recognize that and then put it out there. So that's very true. All
Yep.
right. So can you give me an example of, like, do you have a specific example where you actually took somebody from that mindset and into a actual sharing mindset where they created value?
Absolutely. I've done this many times actually. And I'll just tell you the formula. I've done it with acupuncturists, I've done it with mortgage brokers. Uh, uh, I've got people that teach little babies how to swim.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a wide array of clients, but I always tell them, I want you to write down the top 10 or 20 questions you get asked all the time,
Yeah.
right? Just write down the common questions or the common challenges that you see. Let's get up to 20 or 30. And I want you to make a 4 to 5 minute video. And the video can go, hi, my name's Edwin Dearborn. One of the most common questions I get is, what is personal branding? So then I answer that in 3 to 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So then next week I take the next question. Hi, my name's Edwin Dearborn. One of the most common questions I get is, how does SEO work today?
Yeah.
Right? And I just start answering the questions, and then I distribute that content through social media. Email is more important than social media, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I add those FAQ videos on my website.
Yeah. Yeah.
I turn them into blog posts, right? And see, here's a key thing that I discovered. The word authority, everybody wants to be an authority, right?
Yeah.
You want to brand yourself as an authority. I do. The word authority is derived from the word author. And an author is a creator of things. You can author a podcast like you are. You can author a YouTube series. You can author a book. So when you create things and you continue to create content that's really engaging and important to people, you will become an authority to them over time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Right? It's just intuitive that our minds, it's like, well, Edwin's always talking about branding and marketing. Maybe I should go to him to help me with my branding and marketing.
Those ideas are so key and so simple that anybody can implement it, as you put it. Like anybody, they all get asked the same questions over and over again. And using that, again, that's a resource they have. And the other thing which I noticed is, like, since we know all these things, we have it in our heads, we assume that these are very simple things, everybody knows them, but that's not true. What we find as common knowledge is not common knowledge.
Common sense is not common.
Yeah, true enough. Okay, so let's go on to the next myth. Like, what is another myth that you think, or misconception that people have in their minds about personal branding, and how can they overcome it?
Well, I think that a myth is that once I build my brand, quote unquote, that people will just come to me. Build it and they will come. No, you got to build it, promote the heck out of it consistently and aggressively, then they'll start to come. People misestimate the amount of effort. That is probably the biggest problem I have to overcome. Is I go, and here's the question you can ask somebody: how long do you think it takes to build a profitable brand in today's world?
Yeah, I mean, it could take years.
It actually does take years.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to build a legacy brand like Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
or FedEx, that takes generations.
Yeah, for sure.
So when people go, I go, do you want to just build a quick, down and dirty, you're done brand? Do you want to build a really profitable and powerful brand? Or do you want to build a legacy brand that you're going to hand off to your kids? And they're like, wow, I never thought of that. I go, just take a look at the world. How long did it take Disney to build Disney? How long did it take FedEx or UPS? Take any brand out there.
Yeah.
Right? There's some exceptions to the rule, but generally, brands, I've talked to dentists and realtors. I go, how long did it take where your practice, your business was just so stable and people knew in the community? They were like, wow, we put it that way. It took me like 7 years.
Yeah.
I said, so how long do you think it's going to take to really build your brand online? They're like, probably, I don't know, a couple, 3 years. I said, right. So if we don't go into it with proper expectations and a proper estimation of effort, you're going to get upset because you have inadequate expectations.
That's right. That's right. So, as entrepreneurs who are just starting off, or professionals or solopreneurs, what advice you can give them to actually, get some help in this area where they need to focus on building the content, they need to focus on their business as well, running the business as well. So, is there anything that they can do to offload this work of promotion, or do they have to do it themselves?
Well, I think a lot of people do it themselves in the beginning because they're bootstrapping, right?
Yeah, that's right.
When you're in that stage, I'm going to tell you what's critical is put in the time on the study of the subject. Look, YouTube is the greatest university in the world,
Yeah.
and it's free.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think 5 million hours of YouTube videos are being watched every day.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care what you want to learn. So when people go, I don't know how to do it, I go, you know what? You don't have any excuse. Spend an hour a day and put in the time and start educating yourself. You may have been born ignorant, but from that point forward, ignorance is self-inflicted.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no reason. You've got access to the world now. Take advantage of it.
Exactly.
Number 2, partner with people that love to mentor. I find that most successful people love to share their knowledge.
Yeah.
Find mentors. Be willing to learn. Be willing to help them build their brand, and in turn, they're going to show you how to build yours. It will reciprocate. So find people in your niche, in your area, and start networking with them and start working with them. Start bringing value to their brand. I guarantee you, they'll reciprocate.
That's so true. True. Awesome. Okay, and so let's say they've had some success, and they spent a year and a half building their brand, and they are getting some following. How do they take it to the next level? And because that is another thing that I noticed in some people, that once they get a little bit of success, it starts to sink in, and then they start to lag, right? They start to sort of get complacent. So how do they keep the momentum going?
Well, complacency and organization are two different problems. If you're complacent, it doesn't matter what tools I give you, right? Because the internal demand is now gone.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
eye of the tiger is no longer there. You don't want to fight anymore.
Yeah.
So, at that point, it's like we're gonna have to somehow tap into ignite your ambitions to go to the next level. But if you're really on fire,
yeah,
now it's a matter of a couple of things. You're going to have to delegate duties, virtual assistant,
yeah,
an employee, a 1099 contractor like myself, right? And the other thing is you got to start putting some of your money that you're making to take you to the next level. If you're going to grow, you're going to have to advertise.
yeah.
You can only scale referrals for so long.
Yeah.
Right? Referrals are hard to scale. Advertising, you can scale. So when you want to go to the next level, you're going to have to overcome that hurdle in your own mind going, okay, now I have to start putting $1,000 or $1,500 towards ads to create additional exposure and opportunities.
Yeah. Okay. So, so that's great. But I was also referring to the fact that a lot of people seem to have these notions of artificial limits on themselves, or on how high they can go, how big their business could be. So when they see a little bit of success, sometimes they just self-impose that limit on themselves and say, okay, this is it. I've made it now. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. Whereas that could be just the step one of their journey. Have you experienced that?
Oh yeah. And this is if you're hungry and ambitious, this is good news, because the guy who's laying back, the guy who's satisfied, he won't be your competitor, will he?
Yeah.
So if 90% of the realtors are like, yeah, I do some business and I'm kind of happy with it, awesome. Now this makes it easier for you to get in the top 10% if you're not that guy, right?
Yeah.
So if you are willing to reinvest in your own success, if you're willing to take it and organize and delegate and start really building a business, you're going to find that you can blow away 90% of your competitors, because the fact of the matter is it's the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the business, 80% of the homes being sold in Las Vegas are being sold by the top 20% of the agents.
Yeah. And that's true everywhere, in every field.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
In every field.
Yeah.
So the thing is, do you want to be in the 80 or do you want to be in the 20? Right?
Yeah.
So the guy goes, I want to be in the 20. Okay, good. So let's reverse engineer, what do the top 20% people do?
Yeah.
Let's just do a competitive analysis and go, what do the top 10 or 20% of agents do? They're out there hustling, they're putting money into advertising, they do email databases, they're creating content, they're doing something different, and that's what we need to emulate or even improve upon.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's great. All right. So, do you have any other myths or misconceptions that you've seen people have, which sort of stops them in this effort?
Yeah, I think they go, well, I'm not good on camera. Look, by the year 2020, 85% of the content consumed online will be a video.
Video, yes.
So if you're not doing video, you're leaving 85% of the business and branding opportunities on the table. That's where everything is going. Video. Yeah. Facebook has gone to video. I just heard a couple days ago that LinkedIn will now offer live stream video.
Yeah.
Right?
Every major platform is going there. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's going video.
Yeah.
So I've seen people that don't look like Hollywood personalities that have videos with 30, 40,000 views. I remember watching this CPA from New York just answer questions about taxes.
Yeah.
Tax deductions, right? His desk was messy. The camera was uneven. His hair was he looked like a typical CPA, didn't dress very fancy. His tie's off to the side. His hair's all messed up. He sounds very clinical.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you he's getting business from those videos because he goes into a deep dive of really answering your questions, like, how are we going to write off your car? Can you write off your dry cleaning? How do you, how many dependents should I take on my taxes, right? These are questions that people have.
Exactly.
And he intuitively said, you know what? I'm just going to put a camera on myself and I'm just going to answer questions and I'm going to be really informative. And I guarantee you, you know what I got from his videos? Okay, that's the real dude. There's no sexy, there's no trying to be somebody else.
Yeah.
This is me. Yeah. This is who I am. And I guarantee you that level, transparency is the new black.
Yeah.
In marketing.
And authenticity, and that builds the trust. So yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah. So if you're dorky, be dorky. If you're exciting, be exciting. Just offer what you know in how you are, and that is what's going to build trust. And when you build people's trust, they're going to want to do business with you.
Yeah. And to your point, if you are camera shy or you don't know how to work a camera or how to get set up, there are YouTube videos which teach all that.
Yeah, and you can get explainer videos on YouTube. You can get a spokesperson, hire some young actor in acting college to be your spokesperson. Big brands have spokespeople. Why not you?
Yeah. Right? There's this website called Fiverr.com, so you can actually hire spokespeople there for, they'll do a video for a 2 minutes video for $5.
There you go. It's so there. When you really look at the opportunities, there are ways to overcome, even if you don't want to get on camera.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. So let's talk about some of the shifts that have happened in the industry. So is there anything that used to be true in the world of personal branding, but now it doesn't work anymore, or it doesn't reap as many rewards?
Yeah. what used to work is you completely controlled the message about your brand, right? You used to say we could put out false information, propaganda, like we could lie. Oh, cigarettes are good for you. They said that back in the 60s, right? And it worked. People, oh, okay, well, the ad said that, it was healthy.
Yeah.
Now you have anybody can create content, and now other people can tell people about your brand. See, I can go to YouTube, and let's say I want to buy a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Well, the brand is telling me what they think is good about their motorcycle, but now I'm watching motorcycle experts ride the bike and then give me a report.
Yeah.
And this is what Google refers to as the zero moment of truth. You can Google that term, zero moment of truth, where the consumer now, before they engage your content, they're going to go not on your website. They're going to go to YouTubers and Instagrammers and bloggers and media people to see what they say about your product or service. Do you see what I mean?
There's nowhere to hide.
There's nowhere to hide. You can't lie anymore. And if you get caught lying, oh, now your brand's toast, because it'll be like sharks on a wounded tuna. They're going to eat you alive.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So one of the last questions: what is the perfect mindset an entrepreneur could have about personal branding that will virtually guarantee their success? I think we touched upon many points about this, but how can we sum it up?
Be patient. Be consistent. It takes time.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just doing one thing. Like I said, it's not just having the logo and some good photos. That's a beginning. I have a website. That's a beginning. Right. If you've got proper expectations and you have the proper estimation of effort of how much work and care and diligence, you'll win.
Cool.
It's the guy who's like, yeah, I tried it for 6 months and I don't do it anymore. Like 6 months, like take a look at any great athlete in any sport. I don't care if it's soccer or rugby or baseball and you or the Olympics or a Navy SEAL. How much time did it take for them to get to that level of competence?
Yeah.
It's true business. It's true personal branding. Put in the time.
Put in the time. All right. Is there anything else that I haven't asked that you may want to share?
Well, yes, but we could talk for hours. I would tell people just go to Amazon and get my book. In fact, in my book, Power Branding Secrets, in the last chapters, I give a step-by-step program of how people can start building their brand. It's literally like, it's laid out by numbers. It's like a recipe, because I realized that people need that kind of direction.
Yeah, for sure.
So throughout my book, I talk about different topics about branding, social media, and content, but then I wrap it up with going, okay, here's a simple step-by-step process that if you follow and you keep doing, then you'll start to learn for yourself what is the right way to go about it for you.
That's great. What I'll do is I'll get the link to your book, and we'll put that in the show notes so that people can access it.
Awesome.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Edwin, for such a great interview. I'm sure all the entrepreneurs and professionals in our audience will have much clearer understanding of the realities of personal branding now that you have cleared up so many myths and misconceptions. So thank you so much for sharing your expertise and experiences. Now, before I let you go, can you tell us, you talked about your book, but can you tell us a little bit about your company and the type of services you provide and how you help people establish their brands?
Yeah, you can go to Premiere with an E on it, like a movie premiere, premierleadsystems.com. And at Premier Lead Systems, what we offer is digital advertising services. So whether you want to advertise on Facebook or Google Bing, Instagram, LinkedIn, we help you with that. We also do consulting on branding. What should my look be? What should my unique proposition be? I don't have a strategy at all. That's a very common thing. I don't even know where to begin, right? Mm-hmm. It's just complete overwhelm. So we offer those type of services, and you can just go to the contact page on premierleadsystems.com and you can reach out to me that way.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'll grab that link from you as well and put that in the show notes.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me on this. I really enjoy educating other people. And I love the fact, I think what you're doing here by taking the initiative is really going to be a powerful way for you to build your personal brand.
Well, let's see. I'm just here to help.
Hey, that's the purpose.
Yeah.
You stay on that purpose, I'm going to tell you, it's going to work in the long run.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your encouraging words and sharing all the wisdom with us. I hope to see you again, and maybe we can have another interview in a few months or a few weeks and talk about something else.
That'll be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
All right. Okay. Bye.
So again, I'm Manoj Agarwal, and thanks a lot for joining us on the Bootstrapping Your Dreams show. I'm guessing there are a lot of type A ambitious personalities in the audience today. And you guys are always busy thinking about your next big move, your next plan to conquer the world. I know, because I'm also constantly trapped inside my own head. To avoid stress and live a healthy and happy life, I highly recommend Ziva Online Meditation course. This course is taught by world-renowned meditation teacher Emily Fletcher. Trust me, meditation has been scientifically proven to reduce stress and heal chronic ailments. So if you want to learn meditation, then you would want to check out this course for sure. I can vouch for it. It helped me tremendously. Go to go.tetranoodle.com/Z1. That's go.tetranoodle.com/Z1. And now, I'd like to invite you to check out my software consulting services and professional training programs at www.tetranoodle.com. We provide world-class consulting services on anything related to technology and software. And we are growing very fast in the areas of education and professional training for software and IT engineers. If you enjoyed this episode, then please do share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes to get automatic episode updates for our Bootstrapping Your Dreams show. And finally, please take a minute to leave us an honest review and rating on iTunes. They really help us out when it comes to the ranking of the show, and I make it a point to read every single one of the reviews we get. Thanks for listening. Stay happy and curious. Have a great day.